Okay. So I know it's usually live before it actually clicks over. Oh, it looks like we have a guest. Hi, Nigel. We're just going live on YouTube. So let me do my introduction and then we'll greet you. So welcome everybody. What is your mission for 2025? We are talking mission today. Why it is that you're doing this thing? Um, called entrepreneurship, called business. We are Nate and Simone, and we talk all things marketing. And today we have we have somebody in the room with us, um, along with and Nate is here, of course. Hey Nate, how you doing?
Hello, hello, hello.
Um,
Happy New Year.
so
We're getting things started off right here, I guess.
yeah, happy New Year, everybody.
It
Happy New
was
Year
not
to you. You
New
know that
Year's last time.
yeah, they say on social media, talk to one person. So I'm talking to that one person, you who are watching. I'm talking to you.
Yeah. The one person watching, exactly.
I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So our topic today is about mission, and I'm gonna silence my YouTube on my computer. Um,
Oh, is
all
it
right.
getting feedback? Doesn't
Well,
help.
it starts to play because once I hit the button to go live, it opens
Hmm.
up YouTube and starts playing
Yeah,
the video.
gotcha.
And of course, I always forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we have Nigel has not introduced himself yet or come on camera or said a word. Or of course he could just be lurking. Hi, Nigel.
It's lurking.
There he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes,
First of
I
all, you know what the first thing I want to know is, are you from the Caribbean?
yes.
Yes. Which island?
Big one, of course.
Say that again.
The big one.
The big one, Jamaica?
Yes. Is
Oh, okay. Welcome. Welcome.
is that
Well, you
is
know
that
why I
where you're
wanted to
from?
know is because your last name is Henry. And if you're from the Caribbean and your last name is Henry, we're probably related. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Wow, I just realized that.
Well, welcome, cousin.
Yes, my sister in, as we say in our country.
Yeah, my folks are from Trinidad and Tobago, but
Okay,
as we know, people hop islands. So,
that's right. Especially the great ones.
yeah. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Nate, take it away. I mean, you're the one to interact with the folk. So
Oh, well, I mean, you're more than capable. We're like she said, we're talking about crafting a mission statement this year. Well, to start off 2025, right, Nigel? And do you have a mission statement for your business?
Yes.
I think this is the type of thing that you talk about a lot, isn't it?
Um, it's it's I have a framework in
Yeah,
which we talk about a lot of things, and included in that framework is mission.
yeah,
Beyond mission is purpose, and we also include vision. But I do
yeah,
have a mission conversation that I have with myself and others. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, well, you can definitely feel free to chime in
Okay.
in the conversation here.
Yeah.
We're recording this and streaming it live to YouTube for the benefit of others.
Yeah.
We will use we what I do is I repurpose these conversations for social media posts and things like that, and just content generation, that kind of thing.
Yes.
But it's also meant to be a useful conversation where people can come in and if they want to know what it means to do to craft a mission statement, they can come join a conversation with us, and then we
Yeah.
can walk them through that kind of thing.
Beautiful.
So that's what we do. But anyway, so I like we create an outline to help guide the conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep things from getting off track a little bit. But
Yes.
so Um, the first, just to kind of start off with, it's probably important to talk about the importance of a mission statement, and how that helps with aligning your purpose, your strategy, the values that you have. Um, there's also, do you have anything? What do you think about that, Nigel? Starting off there.
Yeah, I agree. And my background is I've worked in the UK, United States, those are two big ones. And I've worked in corporate Britain and corporate America. And then in the last 25 years, I've been working with helping businesses, particular type of business. And so in my corporate career, they talked about the mission a lot. And I've always had an issue with the way they define it, because sometimes they call it a vision statement, and I'm like, the vision is something else. So for me, I think of vision first. Like Martin Luther King had a vision. I have a dream. I see this thing, some future state that is desirable. And JFK had a vision. We shall have a man on the moon by
Yeah,
1964, right?
yeah,
Vision. Visionary people see things that are not yet real. But in order for something to become real, you must have missions or missionaries, right? To establish that dream in reality. So the best example for me that helped me to crystallize it was the Apollo series. JFK, vision, we see a man on the moon, but in order to get there, we need to have a series of missions. And each mission was named like Apollo 1, Apollo 2, Apollo 12, and each mission accomplishes certain things, such as the first mission is to build a rocket. Well done, mission accomplished. And then I grew up in that era when there's a TV show called Mission Impossible. You guys remember that?
oh
And
yeah,
there's so our
great
mission
movies
is,
too.
Watch the
yes,
reruns.
yes, lovely. So there's always a mission is like a short-term um, objective that accomplish some portion of the vision. So
Okay.
vision, man on the moon. The mission number one is build our first rocket. Mission number two, get it to take off and orbit. Mission number three, get it to put a man in there and orbit. Mission number four, land it on the moon. So it's a series of objectives that accomplish uh, pieces of a vision, so to speak.
Okay.
So I created a mission for my current business, and it's a very short one. It says locate, assemble, and activate 144,000 change angels. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
But I think each year I give it a date and I always miss it. But the mission stays the same. It's just how much of it have I accomplished. And so I break that down into goals. Okay, we'll do X amount per quarter or per year. But the mission has remained the same since 2015. And it changes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
like how you broke that down. There's a
yeah.
big vision
Yeah.
and there's smaller missions that lead you
Yes.
towards
Yeah.
accomplishing
Kind of
that
like
big
the
vision.
steps you take to get there.
Yeah, I like that.
And then within a mission, there are goals, which
Right.
are the steps or intermediate steps.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons I talked about it is because people have often confused mission with vision.
Yeah.
And sometimes they say mission before vision. I'm like, well, I'm a visionary. I see, but I don't know. I'm not necessarily the guy that gets us there. So I might actually hire an expert to accomplish the mission. Or if I know what the milestone is, I'll say, here's the mission. We got to find someone like Mission Impossible guys. Guys, we need to break the safe. It is yours, should you wish to accept it. And let's
Right.
go. And then we can talk about spicing up the mission and making it exciting so that we want to accomplish that mission. Otherwise, it's a mission statement, which I don't know what that is.
Mm.
When people say a mission statement, it just sounds like something people say and it goes on your website, but nothing happens. The
Mm. Yeah.
mission, I like how the rocket people do it because every time I watch a SpaceX rocket going up there, the whole team is just the mission was to get that thing to land, right? The the what do you call it, launch pad to get back to the landing pad. And when it did that, they cheered when it blew up, they cheered when it fell over, and they cheered when it succeeded because it was so close to the mission. And
Mm.
the more impossible the mission is, the greater the reward when it's accomplished.
Mm.
I think
Yeah,
missions are wonderful things.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
definitely.
Interesting.
So the way that we have this outline structured, we'll start off talking about the problem that your business solves, um, and then envisioning like the perfect world solution, and then connecting your mission to your USP or unique selling proposition. That's kind of
Mm.
how we
Okay.
look at it or see it. But
Yeah.
so the first one, the problem you solve. The question to ask here is, what major problem does your business address? And it's not just surface level frustrations that we're talking about here. It's what deeper issues are you there to help people solve? So, um, like you said, the SpaceX, right? Um, they're not out there just shooting rockets just for the sake of shooting rockets. There's a deeper problem that they're trying to solve, and that is primarily, as I see it, the huge expense involved with sending rockets and people into space, and a lot of that has to do with the disposable nature of the equipment that's being used. It was up until SpaceX, everything was one-time use, or a
Right.
significant chunk of it anyway. And so that meant that you use it one time and then you had to build it again, which incurs costs. But if you can reuse things, then you're saving a whole ton of money here, and then it
Right.
starts to become more realistic and palatable to businesses who are looking or considering you know, doing things in space. So,
Like,
yeah,
yeah, like launching satellites. A lot
yeah,
of companies want to launch satellites in space, so they have access to better data, global data from other countries, that kind of thing.
well,
Um,
yeah, and
without
it
a lot
helps.
of the interference, I guess, from the atmosphere on Earth.
Yeah, yeah. There's advantages to manufacturing things in space, like ball bearings, for example, making those in a vacuum as opposed to so it's no longer you don't have to worry about gravity pulling it into one direction and making it wobbly, right? So ball bearings need to be pristine. But anyway, so all kinds of stuff. But so there's definitely some much bigger problems that they're looking to solve by going into space. I guess what problems do you feel that you are solving then, Nigel, with your company and what you
Yeah.
do?
I I used to contemplate that for a long time. And I realized that, my background is engineering, right? And
Yeah.
so I was raised in math and physics. And in math, that's how they talk. Solve this problem, solve for X, right? And then you have to work out everything and you get this solution. And so I think a lot of the language around marketing and business comes from that kind of thing. And war, for example, you know, strategy and, attack. is because there's an objective that they have and there's something in the way. And if we solve the thing in the way, resolve that thing, then we accomplish our objective. So I've stopped talking about solving problems. And because a problem only exists if I have a vision. For example, I can see myself living on Mars, in a nice, right? And I'd like that tomorrow, just having a backup home in Mars, and I can just go from Miami to Mars. Uh-oh. Why can't I
Miami to
have that?
Mars. That's gonna be
Yeah,
on a SpaceX flyer pretty soon.
yeah. And I want to do it quickly, right? I don't want to take 6 years. Apparently, it takes years to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as I have a vision or a desire that I want and I can't have it now, I have a problem.
Oh, that's true.
You notice
Good.
that? That's where the
Mhm.
word problems come from. It's something that I can't have right now. Okay, well, I want it now. So what is the thing that's interfering with what I want to have? Transportation for a start. Okay, even if we had that, cost of transportation is ridiculous. Secondly, fuel to transport. Now you're seeing all these problems that are standing in the way of me having my vision. Okay. So, okay, well, first of all, we the vision, see, so I say my intention is manifesting a vision. I want it to be real in my lifetime. And when I can't have it, I got a problem. And there are human beings that have specially that can resolve that problem for me. But the problem is a derivative of the vision. So then I go, okay, now who is the person that is good at solving transportation? Oh, what's your name? Mr. Musk? You can
Mhm.
get me a transportation device to get me there fast? Yeah, but it's going to cost you, Nigel. How much? A lot. Oh, dude, can you reduce the cost? Well, that would involve changing the way transportation is done from one-time use to reusable. Can you do that? Yeah, but not right now. Oh, you got a problem. See, as soon as you say not right now, we have a problem. Okay, well, who can do that? I have a lab called SpaceX where we're constantly rethinking things and they
Reading.
solve.
Yeah,
You see that? So unless there's a vision, we don't have a problem.
that's true.
So I say I make visions real. And I love problems because it just means creating a solution to get my vision real. So
Right.
I've stopped using that word problem. It's like, oh man, it's just a old hangover from math. I
Mhm.
provide solutions. Right?
Okay.
Okay. But
And
then your solution, but
our
it's a
path
solution to what? So you're
to
saying
make
it's a solution to help the vision become
real.
real, come
Exactly.
to real life?
Yes.
Um,
In fact,
so
if
you're
I
not
could,
thinking, okay, you've got a problem that you want
no,
solved. It's more
no,
of
I'm thinking you have
you
a
have a
vision
vision.
that you want to
So
make
it's like
real.
you're like a coach does, right? I meet
Well,
you, you're here. You want to
yeah.
get there. I help you go from here to there.
Well, that
That's your
brings
vision.
in mission again. When you say it like
Hmm.
that, it's a mission.
Hmm.
Okay. You actually want the ball in the net. That's what we want. And it just happens that it isn't in the net, it's right back here in the middle of the field. Uh, and so then they say, well, the mission, guys, is to get the ball in the net in the shortest period of time.
Hmm.
And and then they go, and if you are Michael Jordan or Super Being, which are my people, we go, sure, let's get it done. And we just go do it. If you're a regular human, you say, we have a problem. What's that? There are other guys stopping us. Michael doesn't see those guys. He just sees the ball in the back of the net. See? But if you're a regular human, you see a problem.
Hmm. Interesting.
So the question of who you are determines whether you see a problem or not. So what I focus on in my work is the identity of the person looking.
Hmm.
talk to Michael. No problem, Michael. We're losing. We're actually losing, and it's there 3 minutes to go. Yes, and what would you like done, coach? I want us to win. Okay, done. Leave it to me. And he just goes out there. Next thing we've won.
So generally, what is the vision of the people that you work with?
Vision is what people are born to do. We're here to manifest visions. And
Yeah.
those are the people that we remember. Steve Jobs had a vision of this device that you're holding in your hand. You just say, beam me up, Scotty. Oh, maybe that's where he got it from. Star Trek. And he did not care. He just wanted to have it right now. And if you told him it was impossible, he would do the RDS, reality distortion on you. RDF. He had this thing called the reality distortion field. Yes.
Yeah.
And he would
Mhm.
make your mind see the solution. And if you didn't, he fired you because you saw problems. And nobody
Okay.
wants problems. Who wants problems? Nobody. But because
Well,
it's common amongst the masses, it's become the thing that marketers talk about. So I don't talk about problems in my world. I talk about visions made real in the shortest period of time. And if you start shortening the timeline now, you're talking about miracles. And there are only a few kind of people that work miracles, the extraordinary beings. So that's why I said I have a mission to find those people because those people make visions real in the shortest period of time. That's not the masses. That's not what marketers talk about. So I do have a different perspective on things. But if we
yeah,
wanted
that's
to,
true.
yeah, if we want to talk to the masses of people who are small business, 80% of the world, then we have to help them to solve problems for people who have visions.
Well, that's true. So, okay, so speaking specifically in your case,
Yes.
the people that you work with, they come to you, they have a vision. What is the vision that they have?
Very good. Now, I mentioned it in my intro. Like I have a mission to locate these people. And I have a number in mind, 144,000, which is a critical mass number. For those who are on the spiritual tip, it actually means something. But that, for me, that number represents a collection of people who are on a certain frequency.
Okay.
And, just like there's three of us in this room, right? If we're all coming from different places, this could be a very controversial, boring thing to listen to because Nigel thinks one way. Is it Simone, right? Is it Simone? Thinks another way, and Jonathan thinks another way. It's just discord. But if we all think on the same level, woo, magic starts happening. So that's my mission is to get a critical mass of super beings together because they're here on Earth, and that raises the bar for everyone. But what was your question?
You want to get them together to do what?
Thank you. It just turns out that these beings that I said already have a vision. And their intention is making it real, and they may have forgotten their superpowers to make it so.
Okay.
So what
So you
my
help them
business,
to discover their superpowers.
no, reactivate it. They already have it.
Reactivate their superpowers.
Yes,
Okay.
I don't discover it. It's already on board. They know they have it, but for some reason, they find themselves performing like ordinary people. It's like Michael losing his memory and performing like Scottie Pippen. Michael, who do you think you are? I'm part of the Bulls, Nigel. No, Michael, you are
Now
what they
you've
call it.
offended Scottie Pippen and all this.
Well, no, Scottie. Okay, if you want to see all of this that I'm saying about Michael, there's a thing on Netflix called The Last Dance.
Oh, yeah.
And if you watch it, it's the NBA being interviewed about Michael, including Scottie, and they call him Black Jesus. Literally,
they call
that's
Michael Jordan Black Jesus.
Black Jesus. And when Black Jesus is on the floor, and this is not just the Bulls, it's the whole NBA, they're like, oh shit, Black Jesus is here. We have no chance because of who he is. And so that movie actually has them talking about their experience with him playing and how his presence changes the game, changes the whole industry, everything.
Mhm.
So I'm looking for the Michael Jordans of the world.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Interesting.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
That
you
is,
know,
it is about perspective here, I think, you know, like
yes,
what
yes.
side of the problem or what side of the problem you're on, I think, you know, like so you're saying problems can become visions if you look at it the
No,
right
I'm
way.
saying visions create problems.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
We
Visions
did
create
not
problems.
have, yes,
I
we did not have
can
a
see
problem.
that. Absolutely. You
Yeah,
have a
So
until,
vision
so
for
so
to
so
go
would
to
you
go
higher
ahead, sir.
heights, but you can't
Yes,
get there yet.
you
So
have a
you have a
problem.
problem that creates a
Thank
problem.
you. And then there
Yeah,
are
I
people
see that.
who that's their job to solve that problem. And if you bring
Yeah.
enough people together with certain skill set, that problem disappears because what is a problem is a solution in disguise.
would you agree that people with vision have more problems?
They
Because
don't see problems. That's the issue.
Mm,
The
okay,
word
okay.
problem is just a name that we give to the gap between intention and reality.
Hmm.
mm,
Or
It's just
expectation and reality.
no, the name. It's like, okay, my intention is being on the moon tomorrow morning. Are you
mm.
there yet in real time? No, shit, that's a problem. Now, for my people, they want that time that they're doing without the reality to be reduced really fast.
Right.
And um, they want it removed. So they find people who produce results really quickly. You know what? The definition of or another word for it is high performance people.
Hmm,
What is performance? This is my definition. Performance is the rate at which an intention is made real. So
hmm,
my intention is being on Mars next month. If it becomes real next month, that's super high performance.
hmm,
Now, have we noticed that this AI wave that's taken over the world reduces the time that it takes to make things real?
hmm,
Absolutely.
What is an AI machine? It's the thing that solves previously defined problems in milliseconds.
hmm,
Mhm.
So it's not, this problem thing is an artificial concept that people have got attached to. I don't even believe in them.
hmm, hmm.
AI is going to make problems redundant. What is that? It's something we used to talk about in 2022, 20, you know, before the AI revolution, there was a
Yeah.
word called problems.
Mhm.
And how do we create a problem? You have to be ignorant. You just have the information, the solution has to be hidden from your awareness. And that's so the mission becomes discovering the solution, right? That's that's what we have now. But
Hmm,
with AI, which is basically thinking on hyper, on drugs, basically. Your mind is running as if you took drugs. You see the solution right away, bling, like that. And now we're back to the visionary. Okay, so in the new era that's coming up, because we have a mind called AI that can run at lightning speed, the issue now becomes what is your vision? Not what's the problem, what's your vision? The limitation on humans is going to be imagination. Here's an
Oh,
example. Yeah, what do you think of that?
well, no, I'm thinking about the way that us regular people talk about,
Yeah,
as far as being entrepreneurs and how we think about how we interact with our clients and prospective clients. And yes, we do use this word problem because we understand that there is a place that they want to go, and they may not know how to get there. They may not have the
absolutely.
tools. They may not have built up the assets. They may not have
Absolutely.
the time to
Yes.
uh, to
Oh,
to
no,
learn what
think
they
they
need to
don't.
learn.
Yeah. Yes.
They, all these things, and all of these things or what we call problems. And so then us as entrepreneurs, we come to them and we say, hey, I have a solution for your problem, right? This thing
Absolutely.
that is hindering you from getting to where you want to go, from reaching
You're,
that vision that you
yes.
ultimately have. So so then we talk about, okay, what major problem does a person's business address, right? That's part of what
Well,
we how of crafting our mission statement, right? And and it's not just like surface level
yeah.
issues and that kind of thing. We're looking at deeper issues, what's happening in the industry that maybe you're trying to overcome. Maybe it's generational issues that you're trying to overcome. So like speaking of Elon Musk, he has this other company called Tesla, where he
Yeah.
talks about where he's making money creating cars, right? He's not a historically he's not been a car manufacturer. What
No.
he wants to do, the big issue that he's trying to solve is sustainability and getting away from fossil fuels when it comes to us on the planet, like keeping keeping the planet around longer. All
Yeah.
right.
Well,
And I guess SpaceX is like the next iteration. Well, like, hey, if this whole, getting away from fossil fuels things doesn't work that well, and we need another place to live. Well,
Yeah.
I have this
Yeah.
other this other
Right.
company over here gonna take everybody to Mars. We're just gonna
Contingency
live over
plan.
there.
yes. But again, if you see it as he's trying to solve a problem, then it's almost self-serving. But if you see it as I have a vision that humanity lasts forever,
Mm,
and in the event of a catastrophic event on Earth, don't worry, you have a backup on Mars. Humanity can regenerate from Mars. So it's not that I think he's trying to solve the fossil fuel thing. I think the guy generally sees the future, and then there are
mm,
things to be solved. Like now, in the meantime, because
absolutely.
he's seeing so far ahead, at least I see the way he sees it,
Hmm.
that it is possible that humanity can actually live on beyond the dinosaurs. And that's why my vision, that's my dream. I want to see it that way. Let's make it so. What are the possible, this is what I think he's saying. He's saying, what are the possible things that could interfere with my vision?
Mm,
One of them is that this fossil fuel thing kills off all the people because of climate change, blah, blah, blah. Another one, a nuclear bomb goes off and just wipes us out. Another one is a missile, what do you call those things? Meteorite hits the
mm,
planet.
Ah, yeah.
So he's just looking ahead and saying, for the vision I have, there are threats to it.
right.
So I'm going to handle them in advance.
Well,
That's
that
how
brings
I
us
go ahead.
it brings us to the topic of envisioning what the world looks like if we
Thank you.
solve these issues, right? So if Elon Musk, if his vision is a more sustainable world, a world where we are all um well, we're using energy sources that aren't necessarily killing us, or we're using, or we're all living on a separate planet, right? You know, he's probably envisioned in his mind, what does that look like?
Yes.
Um,
Now,
which I think is
now,
very interesting.
but I would like to make sure that I honor the intention of this
Mm,
program. And I'm assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that assuming that this series or these sessions are successful, that people will be either better entrepreneurs. Are you just focused on marketing or helping entrepreneurs? What is the actual vision
mm.
of this podcast, broadcast, or in general? Is it? I assume there's going to be more than one. Assume
Yes, well, we are in a series, right?
Yeah,
So we've
yeah.
talked
fair enough.
about, yeah, and we're what, in phase two of our
Okay.
Yeah.
going through
Yeah.
our program, but it's really helping people to think about their marketing in a more holistic, strategic way rather
Fair
than
enough.
just,
It's
oh,
kind of
I'm gonna do marketing. I'm gonna run ads. I'm gonna
I
do marketing.
agree.
I'm gonna post on social media. I'm gonna do marketing. Gonna put up a website
I
and
agree with
have
you.
better
I agree with
SEO.
you.
yeah.
It's,
It's
it's
Yeah, but
much bigger than that.
thank you.
yeah.
May I? Sorry, Jonathan, you were going to say something.
I was going to say it's expanding the definition of marketing
Fair
to
enough.
not just be about building a website, running some ads, posting on social media, but there's also it incorporates sales, and customer experience. There's
Yes,
a lot more to it. Yeah.
absolutely.
And
I totally agree
automating
with
your
you.
processes, measuring your results, measuring your inputs,
Yeah.
and what are your
Yes,
KPIs, measuring those outputs.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
Now,
it's all of that.
I totally agree with you. And the reason I wanted to make sure I asked that question to get us back on your agenda is because I'm thinking, okay, assuming that this marketing expertise show is successful, meaning it's accomplished its mission. What do you see? What is the vision that is now happening in the world? Let's just say it's been running for, you know, let's just say just in modern day, a year of a podcast is impactful. And it was all successful. And everybody's like, you know what, I watched this show and man, I'm so happy. What's changed in the world as a result of people in, engaging with this show?
I think for one thing, people will have a more I guess a bigger view of their business and kind of see how everything fits together. It's easy for entrepreneurs to get caught in the the tinkering. I'm the tinkerer. I have the thing that I do, and I've made a
Yes,
business out
yes,
of this,
yes.
but I'm kind of stuck at the bottom of the mountain looking up and seeing all the work I have to do,
Absolutely.
So it's a difference between being at the bottom of the mountain looking up versus being on top of the mountain looking down and seeing
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that as a result of continuously engaging with this show, you will end up sitting on the top of the mountain, looking down at the landscape in your marketplace. You will
Yeah.
be at the top of the mountain. So the vision of this show is that all entrepreneurs who are engaged, they're part of your network, your curated audience, they are now operating from the mountaintop.
Right.
That's
It's
the
that
end goal.
what Michael Gerber talks about. Don't just be working in your business all the time. Work on your business. Have
Fair
that
enough.
10-foot strategic view rather than I
Yes,
just come into work every day. I open the doors. I,
yes,
fill the cash registers. I sweep the
Yeah.
floors. I, bake
right.
the pies, that kind of thing. Like, where's your business going? Why are you even doing
Uh,
this? What's the story
Exactly.
behind it?
Well,
You know,
all of those things that
it's that
you
ultimate
are,
vision.
all
Mhm.
the things that you're introducing as components of marketing are like, we need a reusable rocket, we need better fuel. You're giving a paradigm shift for marketing. But at the end of the
Absolutely.
day, marketing is a means to an end. Is the business owner, or sorry, the customer fulfilling their vision. That's what we're in here for. So if I am a business that's
Mm.
serving any customer, the reason why the customer called me is because they had a vision
Mm.
and
Absolutely.
they want it solved, and they identified some obstacles, problems in the way, and they hired this marketing firm or whatever firm to fulfill their vision, period. So, what I
Yeah.
say, the first step in any marketing strategy is for the marketer to find out the customer's vision.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then the customer tells us what are the problems that they see. And sometimes they don't see all of them. And then I say, well, by the way, Mr. Customer, there are a lot more problems than you're even aware of, which is
Yeah.
why I need to help you solve
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I feel
And
like
you
he's
see what
been
I'm
sitting
saying?
in our meetings.
Oh,
Yeah.
now the reason why I say it like that
That's
is
part of our
because,
program.
Yeah.
That's
well, that's why
exactly
I
what
asked
we do.
you. That's exactly what. So I say to you, if
Exactly
you
what we do.
start by stating the vision at the beginning of every program, listen, people, if you're wondering why we talking and bringing all these guests, it's because we have a vision. We see you on a mountaintop, totally dominating without doing
Uh-huh.
anything in your business because you're on top of it on the mountaintop. Does anyone share that vision? And if you don't share it, would you like it? And then let's reverse engineer by looking
Yeah.
at how your marketing needs to transform so you can have that vision today and not 10 years down the road after solving problems. That's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
So I think
Yeah,
one of
Mhm.
the
that's a
issues I've
consideration.
discovered,
Nate, did you write that down?
Yes. Yes. It's being recorded.
it's being recorded. That's what I say to people, don't waste time. It's being recorded. And plus, if you put AI on the thing, it will summarize it for you,
Yeah,
right?
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do that.
So
I was just kidding.
yes, so the main thing is that my main point is that I know today's theme was about the mission,
Mhm.
but I think all aspects of marketing, from the technical, the mission, the strategy, all the things, they're subordinate to the vision. And they're
Yeah, we do, and we connect it all because we talked about all the like these different aspects, like what are your financial goals and your core values and
oh yeah, those are
your
the
target, your
components.
ideal client,
Yeah.
all these different
Yes,
things, it all kind of comes together. So
absolutely.
yeah, and it flows into there's a progression that we're going through.
Yes,
There's a
It's
absolutely.
like
I
progression
you
hear
and
have
it all
to
feeds into that mission, into that
have to
vision.
re-examine and make sure that that you have a solid foundation, so you
Hmm.
can build a bigger house on that foundation, or
Absolutely.
a bigger vision, right? So yeah.
yes.
Absolutely. So, um, so what is okay, well, Nate, go ahead. You take it away.
No, I was that once we figured out, the problem, or identified a problem, or the vision, which is definitely a component there for sure. And and you have in your mind what you're trying to achieve, that end goal, the solution, right? What is it that you do that is unique and can help people to achieve that? You know, like what is the unique value
Value
proposition that you
proposition.
bring, right?
I hear
Yeah.
you. Um, I like if
What sets you
question,
apart?
yes, people ask me that, and I I don't. So I'll just give an example. I'm sure people are familiar with the alignable platform, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, for
And there's
sure.
a thing,
Some
the
people,
smart connects.
Yeah.
And so you go on there and get to know you and network and know, like, and trust, right? But the number one question that people ask is, what do you do?
hmm
Right? And what makes, and let's just say I noticed, for example, on that platform, there's a lot of bookkeepers.
Yeah, yeah.
And so if
Especially
I
this time of
say,
the year.
yes, exactly, they come out of the woodwork, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, bookkeeping is like commodity. It's done,
Mm,
there's a standard for it. And you're on here, and that question that someone just asked, what's unique about you, right?
Mm.
yeah.
And if you're a bookkeeper and there's other kind of services, even coaching, which I'm not, that fit into that thing. The mechanics is the same. And you can add some flavor to it. But at the end of the day, the numbers need to add up. And
Mm.
you need to produce a P&L on a balance sheet on time. So what's unique about you?
Well, like
And Go
Okay, go
ahead.
ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to chime in there. I know someone who is a bookkeeper, and his unique value that he provides is that he can meet with people outside of normal working hours because he works during the day also at another job. And so that's one of the things that he does. Not a lot of bookkeepers are willing to meet with people after 5 p.m. because most of them are doing 9 to 5, right? So that's one way.
Yeah.
But
And
just as an
that's
example.
in the marketing message somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
that differentiates you a little bit, right?
Yeah, it's a little
But
bit.
yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. And it's not a lot, but it's at
Sometimes
least the
that's all it
best.
takes, though, right?
Well,
Yeah, depending on who
possibly.
you're targeting, right? That
Well,
may
this
be a
is
big value for them.
possibly. Yes, I agree. So that's why I don't even look at that question, right? It is a current way. I think where I'm going is like Elon went back to this thing called first principles. Okay, we need to get a rocket to Mars. How do you do that? Oh, well, they have these rockets that they built in the 70s, Russia, and he went to buy some missiles. And he couldn't do that because the government wouldn't allow him to buy missiles. Okay, what do we do? Oh, well, we could use the space shuttle. Oh, no, we can't do that because that thing is not good after it's only good when it's landing. Okay, what do we do? And he goes, you know what? We have to reinvent propulsion and rocketry, period. Just restart from scratch as if no one has ever built a rocket before. So that's how I see marketing. The current conversations are USPs, right? And all these other things like, oh yeah, fuel and gasoline. And yeah, what if we just reinvented it? And I decided to do that for myself. And I said, you know what? Let's start at the end, assuming the marketing works and I go and my customer's happy. What is it that my customer really, 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 really wants? My customer. And I came to the conclusion that my customer wants his customer or her customer to deliver value, period. At the end of the day, if I serve, if I'm a doctor, right? My customer is a doctor. What does my doctor customer wants? He wants his patients to be productive, people in society. So that's why he fixes whatever he fixes, knees or whatever ailment, because he wants his patients to deliver value in society. So I'm starting right there. Every human being gets optimal fulfillment from delivering value into society. Like this program is only fulfilling if the customers that listen can deliver more value into society. Am I wrong about that? That is what I call first principles. I don't care what the marketing mechanics is. All I know is at the end of the day, the customer's customer has to deliver more value in society. Okay, so when I go now, when I meet anyone, wherever they are, I say, okay, who is your customer? I'm not interested in them. They're my customer. I want to know who their customer is down the line. And what does your customer want? Like met a lady, she sells voice over IP phones. That's what she's like, oh, we're the best in da da da. I'm like, I wonder if she knows what her customers want. They don't want a phone. They want to do their job better. They want to be more contributing more value. So that's where I start. And then I reverse engineer from there. And then, okay, so I say to my prospect, what makes your customers happy? And they're like, oh, yeah, when they smile. Oh, you're a dentist? Blah, blah. And reverse engineer all the way back to what marketing strategies must I create now to get my customer's customer deliver more value. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, it does.
And I may have to reinvent my marketing things, whatever I do. I may not have a USP because it doesn't necessarily make the customer's customer more productive. So I'm not
Yes.
trying to redo marketing. I'm saying, let's go back to why marketing was created in the first place, was to
Oh,
help the
absolutely.
customer's customer to be things. So if we need to preserve USP, then fair enough. But otherwise, I don't even look at it.
Right.
Sorry.
I guess the idea here is, if you are a business in the marketplace, how do you
Yes.
stand out to your customers, and and give them a reason for choosing you, right? And so that's kind of like
Okay.
what I am thinking. That's how I'm thinking of, unique value proposition, unique selling proposition.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so the
Well,
question that you have to ask is, is your mission that we talked about earlier, is that aligned with how you're communicating your
right.
uniqueness? You know?
Exactly. Well, I would just say it's about value, right?
Mhm.
In fact, um, I don't know what you call it, that statement that people, what is your something statement? I just say I cure value constipation. That's it. So I think at the end of the day, first principle, it's about getting value to flow, and marketing facilitates the flow of value in the customer's business. And so whoever can cause more value to flow in the customer's business is going to win, right? And
Now,
so, no,
here is here's my thought on that.
yeah,
Um, absolutely, you can say it like that. But is one of the things that we absolutely want to do when we are crafting our mission statements, when we are talking about our unique selling propositions, all of that, one thing it has to be is it has to be clear. And it has to
yeah,
be at a level that
yeah,
your client, your prospects can understand and use words that they would use.
yes,
I have never heard anybody say, I have value constipation.
that's right.
That
Exactly.
that's so coming to them and saying that that is what I do,
All
they're
right.
probably going to look at me weird because they're going to be like, what does that mean? Right?
Well,
So being absolutely clear and speaking on, now they say like the ideal levels for communication is at, even if you're talking to PhD people, right?
the
An
4-year-old.
ideal is to speak to people at a third to fifth grade reading level, because that's something, it's a level that it doesn't have much jargon. It's simple language, simple words
Mhm.
that everybody can understand. And we're all speaking to each other on the same level, and we all know what we mean when we say that. And in that way, we can say, you're my person, right? Because I can come to you, I get you, you get me. So now you're my person, you're the person who's going to help me to get to my vision. You're speaking my language. I understand, right? That is something that we absolutely want to make sure that we make sure that our statements and our communication is clear. Because that communication, when it comes to marketing, it is crucial. And if people don't understand, they're going to be confused. And we all know a confused buyer does not buy.
Now,
Yeah.
I totally agree with 100% of everything you just said. And there is a little addendum that I'd like to insert. May I? Let me just
Go
make sure I
ahead.
heard it first.
Sure.
Okay.
That one of the core tenets, at least from this show, is that the message has to be clear, right?
Absolutely.
So clarity is crystal. Is not negotiable. Second thing is that there's one of the it's proposed, or one of the, I don't know whether it's a tenet, is like speak at whatever grade level, right? Um,
Fifth, fifth,
Third to
fifth
fifth.
grade. I
Third
think
to
it's
fifth
called
to fifth
grade.
grade level. Yeah.
the Feynman
They s-
technique. Yeah.
Yeah, they say that's one of the reasons why Trump won the
Exactly. I was going to
election.
go there.
He
Thank you.
speaks very simply, right?
Thank you.
You know,
You're right.
what are you going to do about Iran? Well,
Yes,
we're going to analyze blah blah blah, and we're going to do this.
absolutely.
No, we're going to bomb the mess out of them. That's it.
Absolutely.
Very
And people,
clear.
yeah,
Everybody
let's
understands that.
absolutely. Now, I agree with the principle, but
Mhm.
I'm adding a distinction that clarifies it even further. Not everybody is on the same level. The
No, not
masses,
everybody's on the same level.
no,
But
no,
True.
one of the
go
things
ahead.
I want to say is use the language that your ideal client is using.
Thank
If
you.
they're
That's
not
where I was heading.
Yeah.
using a
That's the
particular language,
addendum.
then you shouldn't
Well,
use it, right? But
well,
if
the
they are,
addendum.
go
Well,
ahead.
I would,
You're free.
I'm kind of challenging it, if I
Mm,
may, right? That's the prevailing thinking. I'm a disruptor by nature. Everything I do disrupts whatever was going on. And my
mm,
people are called change angels for that reason. And they get shot, by the way, for doing that. I am constantly dealing with incoming bullets because, in fact, just to state my position very clearly, if people understand me when I'm talking, then I'm not doing a good job. If they're confused and there's that wrinkle on their forehead, it's like, what is this brother talking about? Then I'm doing my job because I'm disrupting their normal paradigm. My work disrupts paradigm. That's what I was
mhm.
describing when I described Elon. He disrupted the paradigm of um, rocketry. Any industry he goes in, he disrupts it. Uber, blah blah blah. So the point is, I'm not, my audience are disruptors. So if they
Mhm.
understand me, I'm not adding any value to them. But if I make them question their thinking, they're like, whoa, well, he has something. So that's why I said, now, if you look at the normal distribution curve, 80% of the population understand third grade level. But if my audience is a PhD professor, that they don't want to hear no third grade speaking. And if they're out there in Elon land, they want to hear some complicated formulas. So that's the addendum that I'm making. Who is
Mm.
the customer that you're talking to and what level do they speak at? So my people are very, very deep thinkers. And if I come to them with third grade language, they say, Nigel, speed it up, please. We got it. Can you get to the essence of it? If you can't bring it down to a soundbite, when they question my soundbite, they're like, damn, he's right. And they run it through a whole bunch of formulas and it comes down to a distinct three-phrase word that they cannot parse out anymore. They're like, damn, this is fundamental. So it depends on who the
As
audience is
long as it's clear,
for
right,
that
for
level.
your audience, and it has to be clear. Otherwise,
Well, well, the
it's
only addendum
confusing.
I was saying is that you never specified that what level is your audience at. So my audience are not at the mass level, and I'm never talking to the masses ever. My audience
Okay,
are thought leaders and above, are
right,
disruptors. They're trying to change the world. And they
right.
don't want to hear anything they already know. You got to come with them with a disruptive thought. And that's what I bring wherever I go. So my people can hear me. I think in the scripture it says, my sheep hears my voice.
Mhm.
So just know who you're really targeting. I am definitely not targeting the masses. So when I'm on Alignable, for example, and they look at the thing, it says, Pure Valley constipation. Nigel, what is that? And can you use a better word than constipation? That's not right. But then the ones that get it straight away. And they go, wow, that 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 makes me think. And
Hmm.
it gives me an opening. I go in there and I say that,
Oh, it'd
and they
certainly be a
go,
conversation starter, that's for sure.
thank you. That's exactly
Mhm.
my mission. I want
Yeah.
them to start a conversation that involves thinking beyond what they were
It's
thinking
it's
before.
simultaneously
Mm.
highbrow and lowbrow.
Depend on the
Right, right.
consciousness of my
It's like
audience.
toilet
But
humor
I think
and
the key here
academia.
is that you stand out, you're memorable, and that right there
Is
is
a USP.
worth its weight in gold when it comes to
Mm.
marketing. That's really what it all
Yes.
comes down to, right?
And then
Absolutely.
to bring Simone's point about Trump, he was talking at third grade level, even though he's a Wharton graduate, remember? And he said stuff that made no sense, but it stood out in people's minds.
Yeah,
And
made
Yeah,
there's
that
headlines.
is true.
exactly. So it's
Enough to
the
get him elected.
intention. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, um, so how do we bring this discussion to its inevitable conclusion? Because we can't be
yeah,
here all day.
yeah.
So
Interesting
where
conversation,
where
I'll
do
say
we
that.
land? Exactly. Where do we land, right? We talked about USP, we talked about vision, we talked about, how do we communicate with our unique audiences? Um, how do we create a mission statement out of all of that?
Yeah, and it's all, and also I just want to drop in there, like aligning, like having the knowing what value, like Nigel was saying, knowing the value of your business. What are you providing to your customers and to their customers, right? I think that's key
Hmm.
actually. But um, what you come away with as far as that's concerned is is up to you, the viewer, in that case. But I think it's important to keep in mind too that mission isn't just about, like, having a mission, is not just about your customers, but it's also internal in the company as well. Keeping everybody
Absolutely.
aligned, moving all horses pulling in the same direction, as they say, right? Like that's a key thing too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's different ways to get there, as we've seen in this conversation, whether you look at it as being a problem, or whether you view yourself as having a vision, and your problems are simply whatever is in between you and achieving that goal. um, I think that being able to like being clear about that,
Yeah.
being able to summarize that, putting it into some words that really kind of summarize, that get to the essence, as Nigel said, right, of what it is you are actually doing here on this earth for others. I think that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So can I add one thing that wasn't touched on?
Yeah,
Um, and it's I like to start with who is my customer
yeah,
and
Absolutely.
study that person
yeah,
thoroughly. Who is their customer's customer?
yeah.
Who what is their vision that they have for themselves? And
Mhm.
then from that, all my marketing or
Yeah.
activities, skill sets serve that person. And if they like to speak in highbrow or lowbrow, I adjust to that person. So I think there's a term, is it NYC, know your customer?
Mhm.
I would say
KYC, yeah.
KYC, thank you. I would say that's the foundation of it. I
Mhm.
know my customers super well, and I am speaking deliberately only to them. So most of the people are not my customers think I'm crazy and would
Mhm.
never listen to me for a minute. But my people hear me. And to quote a scripture, my
Okay.
sheep knows my voice.
Mhm.
I would say
Yeah.
that's my summary.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. So, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because absolutely we don't want to forget that, this all, like Myron Golden says, your
Oh,
offer should spring from the market, right? Your market will give you the content, you give them the context, right? They tell you what problems, what are their wants, what are their needs, and then which are ultimately their vision, and you come up with, as you're in conversation with them, you find out what are their fears, what are their problems, what are their desires, and how do you help them to solve that. And so, yes, so knowing your client, knowing your ideal customer, psychographic, demographic, all of that is extremely, extremely important. And yes, we did talk about that on this on this show.
Yeah.
That wasn't the topic for today, but yes, it is an important element. It is where we begin. Because I was talking to a lady earlier today, and she has a product that she's selling. And I told her, well, okay, so what makes you different from people who are selling the same thing, right? Is there a particular problem that you're trying to solve? Is there a particular segment, a particular want from a particular segment of this population that you're trying to meet them and to solve that particular problem, or to solve that particular want, that desire for them? So that's definitely homework that we have to do, and make sure that we know our clients on a deep level. Otherwise, we're kind of shouting into the wind. We're not talking to a specific person. We're talking to no one.
Yes.
Very good, very good. I guess until next time, remember that your mission's not just a statement, but
Absolutely.
it's the backbone of your whole business, potentially. So
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here, Nigel. Thank you for being here. You watching us on YouTube, thank you for watching. Subscribe, like the video, and comment. Let us know. Have you come up with a mission statement? What is your mission? And have you incorporated the ideal client, your USP, your core values, all of it, your vision? What is your vision? Tell us, let us know. And subscribe to this channel, and share it with somebody so that we can continue. Help us out with that algorithm, y'all. All right. We'll see you next time.